Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for tonight's presentation of the National Flute Association's Flute Jamboree. Now please welcome to the stage your host for the evening, Zara Lawler.
Good evening and welcome everyone to the Flute Jamboree. If you are a flutist and want to play along on the flute play-along pieces and do not yet have music, raise your hand and the ushers will bring you music. If you need music for the two numbers we're all going to be doing together and you don't have it, there's some people in the back who need music and the ushers are going to help you out. That was just a little bit of business. Now I can really welcome you to our Flute Jamboree. Every year, the National Flute Association holds an annual convention where flutists from not only all over the country, but all over the world come to share our passion for the flute and flute music and to celebrate our community of flute players. And tonight at the Millennium stage, we have a really rare opportunity to open the flute community to the general public, and we're so pleased to get to share all of this with you. I'm first going to welcome to the stage Uptown Flutes, a wonderful American flute ensemble. Come on out. Some of you might not have ever seen this many flutes on stage before, so I just want to make sure you know all the flutes that are out here. We have the quote-unquote regular flute, or the C flute. There's Piccolo, the flute's little baby brother. And there's the alto flute, a bigger, lower version of the flute, the bass flute. And as if that weren't cool enough, the contrabass flute. Check that thing out. Let's give her a round of applause. Uptown Flutes play beautiful, beautiful music that explores all the rich colors the flute has to offer. And they also commission new music from composers. And the piece they're playing tonight was written for them by Valerie Coleman, a flutist herself. So please enjoy Going Uptown. What a nice way to start. So the next, where Uptown Flutes are going to stay on stage for the next number and help us out, and we're also going to be joined by Wissam Bhustani, who's going to be our soloist, and two percussionists, Paul Fadul and Greg Jukes. But that, even with all of that help, that's not going to be enough help. We're going to need all of you. This is one of your opportunities to play and sing along. If you have a flute, take it out and get ready to play. If you do not have a flute, get ready to sing. We are going to be doing Music Alone Shall Live. Hopefully, if you need the music, if you're a flutist, you already have it. If you do not yet have it and you need it, raise your hand and the ushers will bring it to you and help you tape it to the chair in front of you so that you can read it. We'll be doing Music Alone Shall Live, which is a round. That means that we're all going to sing and play the same melody, but we'll start at different times to make a beautiful interweaving counterpoint. But before we do this as a round, we're going to do it all together twice in unison so that everybody can learn it. And if you don't read music, don't worry. You can just listen and follow along, and you'll be able to sing along by the second time we go through it. I promise. It's that simple. So we're going to start by doing it twice through all together. Then you'll listen for my instructions, but basically what's going to happen is that the flutes will lead, flutes wherever you are, whether you're on stage or in the audience, we will lead, and the voices will follow. So, in order to learn this tune, we're going to start by doing it twice together, and we need a starting note. Could someone please play me an F sharp? How about everybody play me an F sharp? That's our starting note, singers. Okay. We're going to start all together singing and playing twice through. And we're starting on an F sharp. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All things shall perish under the sun. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live, never to die again. All things shall perish under the sun. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live, never to. Flutes by yourselves. Voices begin, flutes continue. All things shall perish under the sun. Music alone shall live. Music alone shall live. Everyone continue while Wissam plays the solo. Give yourselves a round of applause. Take it back. Thank you so much for participating in that. That was very beautiful. Well, our next soloist is going to be Wissam Bhustani. He was born and spent part of his youth in Lebanon, and as such, he experienced firsthand the tragedy of war. But he also has then had the experience of the healing power of music. And since then, he has really made his career bringing music and its beautiful healing power all around the world. And I think you're really going to hear that in his rendition of Schubert's prayerful Ave Maria. very pleased to welcome to the stage Hillary Abagana. She will be playing a solo, and then she's going to be followed by her ensemble, The Fourth Wall. The Fourth Wall does this incredible hybrid of the performing arts that combines music with theater and dance all in a seamless whole that somehow also includes lots of audience participation. So as you'll see, they're perfect for a flute jamboree. Hillary's going to start by playing a solo that was written for her by her brother, and it's inspired by a Tuvan folk song. Tuva is a place somewhere in Asia near Mongolia that is famous for throat singing, and I think you'll really hear this in this piece. So please welcome Hillary Abagana.
So as Zadie said, our ensemble's name is The Fourth Wall. And the fourth wall is a theater term that pertains to the invisible wall that separates performer from audience. And the idea of breaking the fourth wall is to talk directly to you, to bring the stage action out into the audience, or to bring you up on stage with us. Which brings me to my next point. We need 2 very brave volunteers to join us on stage, one of which cannot be a flute player. Someone who will volunteer themselves bravely and not be volunteered. I promise this will be I'm not going to make you fly on a trapeze. It's a lot of fun. I promise, I promise, I promise. 2 very brave volunteers. I see there's some. Are we volunteering? Are you volunteering? Yes. Do you play the flute? No. Fantastic. No, we can have a fantastic. Come on and join us on stage. Thank you so much. I think we got it. We got it. All right.
There you go. No, you're gonna be great. We'll be over here. You're gonna help me over here. So you're gonna come over by me.
Wait, someone goes with Greg.
You come with me. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be on this side. All right, so all you use these 2 fingers.
Hillary is going to guide you
Yes.
to help play.
Hillary's gonna get herself in place.
So it goes wah, wah, wah.
Hold,
These 2
please.
fingers.
And,
All right.
Okay, so you're gonna take your left hand and put it right here. Nice and flat, 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 flat. There you go. And I'm gonna open and close. Yep. Good. Now, if you do this, you break kneel. And we don't want to break kneel. So I'll just open it, and then when I do this, you're going to do a jazz hand up in the air. Up in the air. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
Yep, the 2 flat ones. Yep, and you'll go up and up. And down and down. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna play a song.
All right.
Just get your hand back there. So find place. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wasn't that awesome? Can we give them another round of applause? Our next group comes from another part of the world entirely, Venezuela. Marco Granados and Manuel Rojas are both flutists, both have classical training, and have been working in this new way of fusing their classical training with Venezuelan music. And I think you guys are just gonna love this. I will just tell you a little story. Earlier today in our sound check, Manuel wasn't here. His flight had been canceled. He flew in, I think, from Venezuela today, right? He walked down the whole hall, just like ran on stage and played this piece. And when you hear him play this piece, you will not believe that it is possible for a human being to play that kind of flute piece, having just stepped off of an international flight. It's gonna blow your minds. Okay, please enjoy and welcome Un Mundo Ensemble.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're so pleased to be here at the Millennium stage and to be sharing the NFA with the entire world through this venue. It's a wonderful thing to be able to share the beautiful flute music from different parts of the world. So the tune that you just heard is actually a potpourri of very famous Venezuelan tunes. A lot of the popular folkloric tunes in Venezuela are inspired by animal sounds or animal stories. So we played a famous merengue called Compadre Pancho, and then we played La Perica, which is translated as she parrot, and then we ended with Siete Colores, which means 7 colors. So now it gives me great pleasure to invite Manuel Rojas to the stage from Gurufio. So a little bit about the history of this kind of music in Venezuela. About 35 years ago, a young man who had graduated from the Paris Conservatory went back to Venezuela to play in the symphony, and he decided to play with his friends, and he began to play Venezuelan music. But I guess he loved Tafanel and Gobert so much that he started including all of these French exercises and technique exercises into his arrangements of Venezuelan music. I remember hearing that as a kid, and I was blown away, and I also was inspired to play Venezuelan music. And now it's actually a genre of music in Venezuela. So there are many groups. And the second group, which marked a very important passage in Venezuelan music, is Gurufio. Gurufio is what, 35 years or 32 years is Gurufio. And just about a year ago, Manuel Rojas was asked to join Gurufio. And it's such a pleasure to have a flute player from one of the great Venezuelan groups here with us at the NFA and on the Millennium stage. So welcome, Manuel Rojas. Now this is the first ever, actually, that we're going to play a Venezuelan tune with 2 flutes and cuatro and bass. And this is a famous joropo called Apure en un viaje, a trip to Apure, which we hope you enjoy.
So before I bring on our next performer, I do want to let you know that if you are enjoying the awesome flute music that you are hearing today, you can take some of it home with you. Many of our performers today have CDs for sale at the merchandise table towards the back of the hall. Please do check it out. It's an opportunity for you to take awesome flute music home. And who wouldn't want that? Anyway, our next soloist is Voter Kellerman. He's from South Africa, and I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say he's a superstar on the world music scene. You might remember him from the 2010 Soccer World Cup, where he scored the final goal. No, he performed on the closing ceremonies. And tonight he's going to play for you a piece that he wrote, and here he comes to play it and tell you about it.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here. This is from my latest album, Love Language, and it's a piece I wrote for Nelson Mandela trying to paint his life with the colors of the flute. It starts off with him growing up in his rural Transkei, which is a part of South Africa, where he was very close to nature and spent some time herding cattle. When I was writing the song, I was thinking about him sitting by his cattle, listening to the beautiful sounds of nature, which even then must have been tinged with a touch of sadness, showing what was to come in his life. In the next section, he moves to the city, and the peacefulness of nature makes space for the hustle and bustle of city life and a train of events that would take control of his life. And then in the last section, he retires, finally has time to be peaceful again and spend with his family. The piece ends on an unfinished note, showing that even though his life is over, his memory and influence will carry on and sustain us far into the future.
Turita, 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 turita.
Don't worry, he'll be back. In fact, everyone's going to be back for this final number. As everybody comes back on stage, I just want to take a moment to thank a number of people. First, I need to thank the Kennedy Center for hosting us here at the Millennium stage, and particularly, let me just mention these people by name. The production staff here have been amazing. Matt, Greg, Josh, Frank, Thomas, and wait, is that everybody? I think that's everybody. Oh, and the ushers. Oh my gosh, Renee, the head usher, and all the ushers. Can we give them a round of applause? Now, as you might guess by the quantity of people on stage and the banjo in my hand, that we're here really at the Jamboree part of the Flute Jamboree. So if you have a flute, this is your next and last chance to play it tonight in this Jamboree. If you don't have a flute, we're going to need you to sing. That's right, we're going to need everybody's participation in this to make this work. This land is your land. So if you have the music, get it set up. And let's see, I'm going to give you some instructions about how this is all going to work. I'll be playing the banjo. I'll get closer to the mic. Let's do that. So I'll be playing the banjo. You guys are going to be playing the flute or singing or doing some other things following my instructions. And the main thing to keep in mind is that we're only going to ever do one verse at a time before something else happens. So it's going to be super tempting to just go on and play it over and over and over again because it's such a great tune. But you're going to have to resist the urge. You may play any part that you want. You can play first, second, third, or bass. That would be flute 4. And you can sing any part you want. But start with the melody. So we're all going to start together. Everyone's going to play and everyone's going to sing. I'll bring you in. In fact, I'll count you in. We're going to come in after 3. 1, 2, 3. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. All right, we're going to do a verse now. here is going to lead you on hand gestures. So if you have a flute, put it in your lap, because you're going to need your hands free. Here we go. Well, the sun was shining, and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling. As the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting, everyone, this land was made for you and me. All right, let's do a chorus this time with just the flutes. Just the flutes. A 1, 2, 3. Okay, next verse. Follow the fourth wall. We're going to create a soundscape. Get your hands ready, flutists. Well, I roamed and I rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts. And all around me a voice was sounding, everybody, this land was made for you and me. Singers, this is your chance to do a chorus without all those pesky flute players. Flute players, if you want, you can sing. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. All right, we're going to do another verse. And this time, everybody's going to sing, which is a little tricky because I don't think you know the words. So, I'm going to say them, and then you'll sing them. It'll be sort of Pete Seeger style. This verse starts with nobody living. Nobody living. I'm going to count you in. 1, 2, 3. Can ever stop me as I go walking that freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. If you have a voice, sing with it. And if you have neither, do an interpretive dance. And if your name is Hillary Abagana, play us a Piccolo Solo. I'll count you in. A 1, 2, 3. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made. Thank you all. Good night. And if you're coming to the Flute Convention, we'll see you tomorrow.